Sometimes you have to learn a lesson. Life is not always pretty. Life is not always sunshine. Life is not always rainbows. Life is not always good, 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 good. Sometimes you really do have a lesson to learn, and sometimes that lesson is learned through some bad feeling shit. Sorry. We have skills that we have to develop as human beings in order to be fully functioning adults. And then in order to live empowered lives where we have an awareness of our power and we are properly utilizing our personal power in order to have a positive effect on our lives, in order to reach our goals, in order to experience emotional fulfillment, in order to be happy, in order to be satisfied, fulfilled, satiated, you know. Today I want to talk about the uncomfortable, sometimes painful lessons and why spirit guides, angels, universe, ancestors do not just step in on your behalf and shield you from all of the evils and the terribles and the bads of the world. I saw 2 videos on TikTok today. Technically, I've seen 3 videos on TikTok that are contributing to this episode. But the 2 videos on TikTok are really inspiring this conversation that we're having today. So we'll talk about those mainly. For those of you that are new here, my name is Natalie Hughes. I am a life mindset and manifestation coach. In my business and on my platform, I help professional women to co-create emotionally fulfilled and purpose-driven lives for themselves. You are now listening to the Naked and Noisy Manifestation Tools for the Professional Woman podcast. Let's get into today's episode. So, okay. I saw one video that broke my heart, and it was of a young Black woman, and she was talking about there is a man stalking her, and she went to court and the judge dismissed her case. She said the judge didn't even look at the evidence. The judge didn't even make the guy speak. The judge just dismissed her case, right? She's having a moment of defeat. She's crying. And it breaks my heart. And in that moment, if you guys don't know me, I just don't play in general. But especially when it comes to women, when it comes to children, when it comes to people experiencing abuse and oppression, that shit, it burns me up. And it's something that I am the kind of person that wants to take action, that wants to protect, that wants to support women, period, and people experiencing injustices and abuse, period. So I look at that video and I'm thinking to myself, and this is not the first time I've had this thought, but I'm thinking to myself, what do you do when the law, this is like Libra in astrology, what do you do when the law fails you? You move into the spiritual, which is Scorpio, the occult. It's Pluto, it's change, it's transformation, it's the non-physical. What do you do when the law is failing you? You move into the spiritual. You call on help from a higher power. I'm thinking to this girl, you're feeling failed by the courts, baby. You don't need a better judge. You need a practitioner who knows what the fuck she's doing. You know what I'm saying? Real bad. Diva, you need magic. And so, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, I should comment, I should send her a message, I can light her a candle. Mind you, I just did a hex a couple weeks ago. And the consequences of that, those people were in the news a week, 2 weeks later. When I say I would have had it handled tonight, I mean that. But then I stopped myself. And I said, wait. Because I already opened this episode with everything is not sunshine, happiness, and rainbows. So you have to hear me. I stopped myself because I knew and I understood intuitively, immediately, she is not ready. And then we as women, we as empathic people, what do you mean there's terrible things that are happening in the world? You have to do something. If you have the capacity to do something and you don't do something, you're a terrible person, you're a horrible person. I know we want to go there. I understand that we want to go there, but listen to me. And come with me on this journey as we look at this from a higher perspective. There's something that happens when you ask for help. I'm not saying when you ask to be seen on social media. I'm not saying when you ask somebody to be a witness of you. That means you call up your homegirl and you tell her about the negative thing that happened to you. There's something powerful that happens when you get to that place in your journey where you're saying, help me, God, help me. Angels, ancestors, whatever is good out there that is willing to support me, help me, help me, help me. There's something really important that happens in that moment. You have to have that moment. If you do not have that moment, you will not experience permanent change. I do not help people who are not asking for help. If you've watched me interact with people, you may have observed this. If I'm ever talking to someone, I'm channeling information, I'm telling them what they need to hear, and then they respond back to me saying something along the lines of, oh, I know, baby, I shut the fuck up in a way that somebody has never shut the fuck up before. Because you have your degree and you know every fucking thing, perfect. And you're going to continue to live out the cycle that you're living out because you're not ready for change, because you're not ready to see things differently. You can try to give someone all of the help in the world, but until they are ready to receive that help, it will fall on deaf ears. I will use myself as an example. You guys know I didn't file my taxes for the first several years of my business. When I did finally file my taxes, I filed them by myself. This was like about 6 months after I learned that I could file my taxes by myself. So I got on a call with a very nice man who was incredibly helpful to me. And he told me, because I could not afford to pay him to file my taxes, he told me, you know, you can just file them yourself. You just need this form and this form and this form. And I was like, what? Nobody told me you can file your taxes by yourself. Nobody fucking told me that. I've been sitting here not filing my taxes, not because I didn't want to file my taxes, but because I couldn't afford to file my taxes, because of my relationship with money. Let's actually talk about it, because we need to talk about the complexities of these things. I had a shitty relationship with money. I was telling myself the story that I couldn't afford $1,000 to file my taxes, but at the same time, in 2019, the first time I started my business, right? I went to a tax prep guy and I was like, okay, like, what am I going to need to file my taxes? He was like, it's going to be $1,000 to file taxes for your business. And I was like, oh my God, $1,000? That's so much money. At the time, I had never had $1,000 in my bank account. You know what I mean? Like money comes in, then I spend it, money comes in and I spend it, money comes in and then I spend it. So I had never had $1,000 just sitting in my bank account. So I'm like $1,000 at the same fucking time, mind you, I was making like $4,000 to $6,000 a month in my business. And I was spending my money going out to eat lunch every day. Oh my God. I can't interfere. It's a canon event. I was telling the story that I couldn't afford it. I could have afforded it. I had time. I didn't go to the tax guy at the end of the year. I had just filed my business. I could have saved little by little every single month, and by the end of the year, I could have been ready to pay him, and I could have filed my taxes. And I could have never gone through the nightmare of freaking out about taxes not being filed, of getting letters in the mail. They're saying they're going to kill me and take my firstborn child if I don't file my taxes this year. I'm having a panic attack. I think I'm going to go to jail for tax evasion, but I'm not evading them on purpose. I just can't afford to file them. I can laugh about it today. I was an anxious fucking mess when this was like actually going on. I was living a nightmare. I was not ready to see the solutions that were always available to me. Fast forward 5 years, I get on a call with a lovely, kind man. He says, well, you know you can just file them yourself. I say, no fucking way. Then I don't do anything for 6 months. Then I get tired of my own shit. Important part of the story. The people are sending the letters to my mail. It's really, the pressure is getting worse. You need to file your taxes. I got tired of my own shit. So I said, fuck it. Pull up the files. And I did my own taxes, but as I was moving through that experience of looking at the different tax documents, of watching the different videos, of learning the different things, which form do I need to file, and then I need to get a schedule this, and don't talk to me about it. I'm having panic attacks while I'm doing it. I'm crying. I'm asking for help. Am I doing it right? I'm scared of doing it wrong. If I do it wrong, do they throw me in jail, throw away the key? Mind you, I'm black, you know? I'm freaking the fuck out. But I'm doing it. I'm terrified, and I'm doing it. I'm facing my fear. And one form after another, going through my bank statements, going through my receipts, going through da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. One form, one schedule, one blah, 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 one big ass envelope at a time. I get my shit together. I file my business taxes. I file my personal taxes on a federal and state level. Yay! And then we all clap because we're so happy and we're so proud of her. In that process, I learned how to trust myself. I built self-confidence. I built self-esteem. I said, oh my God, people can do hard things. Oh my God, maybe I can be a successful business owner. Maybe I can do XYZ amazing thing. Before that time, I couldn't even keep payroll in my business because I had payroll that was just way too fucking expensive, and I didn't even think about looking for a different kind of payroll. I just kept signing up for this payroll that was way too expensive that I couldn't even afford, and then I couldn't even afford to pay myself. I don't even understand. What were you doing, Diva? I don't get it at all. I was paying myself, but then I couldn't afford to pay myself, and then I couldn't afford to pay the payroll? What? I don't understand. I honestly, I was operating out of so much fear. I was doing a lot of shit that just makes absolutely no sense. Like, I'm so sorry that she went through that. Like, oh my God. Me filing my own taxes and building up that confidence, me stepping further into the energy of the woman that's a CEO, not the girl who had a YouTube that got 6,000 followers and she thinks that she can really do this YouTube creative thing and she's helping people and she likes helping people. And so maybe she'll make it really big in the world and maybe this is her purpose and maybe she can, you know what I mean? I stopped being that girl and I really became a woman. I file my taxes. My taxes are filed. I handle my shit and I handle my business. I can do this. I'm a big kid now. So I file my taxes as a consequence of the confidence and the self-esteem that I've built because I filed my taxes. I'm believing in myself now more. I'm seeing myself as a CEO more. I'm also doing the mindset work that's needed to change and shift my self concept. That means my perception of self. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling better about myself. I'm learning about my money mindset. I did money mindset work every single day for a year before I filed my taxes. So there was so much work that was going on behind the scenes. I still wasn't ready to file. But when I called the people, I was ready to be ready to file. And then he told me that I could do it myself and I still wasn't ready to file. And then I continued to do my money mindset work, even though I was still being avoidant of the big, huge thing. But then I got to the end of the year and I said, I'm done with my own bullshit. It's time to get it. Let's get up. Let's go. Let's fight through this. Let's fight for our success. I'm done living in fear. I'm done being anxious all the fucking time. I fought for it. I filed my taxes. Fabulous. They were amazing. Impeccable. I did a couple too many files, but that's fine. They got what they needed. I got what I needed. That journey was imperative to me becoming a successful CEO of a company. I'm sitting here today. I have payroll successfully. Not only do I have payroll for myself, I have payroll for my independent contractors, the women that I hire as assistants. Not only do I have payroll for myself, I have a 401k. That's very hot to me. I don't care if there's only 3 cents in the 401k. It's mine. It's open. It's in my name. I contribute to it through my paycheck and my motherfucking company contributes to it. Amen. I pay myself consistently. I make money in my motherfucking business consistently. When I say I want to make more money, when I say I want to create a new thing and I want to get sales for that product, I create a new thing and I make more money and I get sales for those fucking products. I am living my dream. Even though I'm not where I want to be financially, even though I haven't reached all of my financial goals, even though my savings are not my dream savings. I am still living on the other side of what was a fucking nightmare the first several years of my business. I had to move through that shit. I had to deal with that fear. I had to stand up and be a grown woman. And then I learned something about myself. I learned that when I put my mind to something, I can accomplish it. So when I set the goal to increase my sales in the dozens, when I set the goal to increase my sales by the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands, and the millions, when I set those fucking goals, even though you might look at my bank account, you might look at my sales, and you might think, that's incredibly far off. That's a little far-fetched. I don't feel that way because I know me, and I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I can overcome, and I know what I can figure out. And I believe in my own ability to make a fucking way. I would not have gotten that if my ancestors stepped in and said, oh no, my poor baby is afraid of their taxes. Oh, I'm just going to handle it. Don't worry, grandma's got it. Don't worry, your granddad's going to take care of this. Do not even worry. Oh, you shouldn't even have to worry about this. You shouldn't even have to deal with this. You're just a girl. You're just a girl. I went from having an experience with no bank accounts, because my bank accounts were always fucking negative, to having an experience where I got sales every single day in the month of, I don't know if it was the month of April or the month of May, but I had one month where I got sales every single day, and it averaged out to at least one sale a day, right? And I was like, oh my God, I've been scripting on this for years, right? So amazing. And then the month after that, I had a low month. I did not get sales every day in June. Oh my God, June was dry as the Sahara Desert. I was already feeling stressed and just dealing with the shock wave, I can't think of the word. But it's kind of like there were aftershocks. The beginning of this year was challenging for me. I've been talking about it on the podcast, right? So many different financial fears around responsibility and blah, blah, blah coming up for me. So I'm feeling really good now, but I was still dealing with that. Still dealing with that fear that's now starting to dissipate because the solutions are coming in, because the things are being taken care of, because I'm getting exactly what I wanted, and blah, 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 blah. Fabulous. But there are still consequences of my unsupportive thoughts and my fears and the vibration that I was in for months, that are still manifesting in my physical reality. Like, I had some fucked up shit happen with my goddamn credit cards. I don't want to talk about it. But what I will say is this. I literally had an experience where I went to pay my credit card bill. I set the payment for the credit card bill. I moved money into an account specifically for the credit card bill to be paid. Then my credit card company sends me a message and is like, your payment was returned. Bitch, it couldn't have been. Because the money was in it. Now I'm pissed off. Now I have to close down this bank because this is the second time that this weird shit has happened where they're doing the balances weird or something, but then they say that there's not money, but it is money because I'm looking at it and I know the money is there and shit is just not adding up. And it just pisses me off. So I had that experience happen. So it's even though I've been working on my money mindset for years and I have confidence around money, I still have shit like that happens, especially because I've been telling the story. I'm unsafe. Maybe it's not happening for me. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe everything's going to dry up. I'm going to be abandoned by the world. Blah, 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 blah. We know this. So, okay. I had that experience happen. I had a low month in June. In my experience, this is common, especially with entrepreneurs. Also, if you take into consideration the whole upper limit thing, you have a high month, you reach a high goal, and then you hit the wall, and then those old triggers come up. Let's say, oh, that really high month or whatever was just a fluke. You'll never be able to replicate it, blah, 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 blah. So I had a low month in June. No big deal. And now it's July, and now things are fabulous. And now sales every day and sales while I sleep are here again. Ta-da! Because I got on my Zoom and I showed the fuck up for myself. I wasn't doing my money mindset work every single day of the first couple months of the year. Was I journaling? Sure. Did I finish one of my journals and start trying to do a digital journaling thing? Sure. Is my mom no longer letting me do the digital journaling thing? No, she's not. And when I say my mom, am I referring to myself because I'm reparenting myself? Yes, I am. And am I not allowed to do the digital journaling thing because I get too distracted and it's just not the same and it doesn't feel as effective as putting pen to paper? Yes. So was I doing the things that I know to do that create positive results in my life? No, I was not. And did I have to live out the uncomfortable consequences of that? Yes, I did. And will I be okay and will I recover? Yes, absolutely. Because I had one low month. By low month, I don't mean it was zero, right? I had one low month. There was another month. I reference this all the time. It's the only reason that I know. It was like October of 2021. The end of the month, my bank statement is like negative 1653 because there was no money deposited. And the money that was taken out that made my account negative was the monthly fee thing. I made negative money. June was a low month, but it wasn't a month of negative money. And so even though I had a low month, I didn't downward spiral into, oh my God, terrible, horrible things are happening. I was not anxious and panicky and worried in the way that I was a couple years ago. Why? Because I fought for my dream and I filed my taxes by myself. And that built self-esteem and that built self-confidence. What does that mean? That means I trust myself. That means as long as I get it back. I don't mind having a low week. I don't mind having a low day. I don't mind having a low month, especially after I have such a great month. Because I know that I'll get it back. I know that it will come back. I know that I will get it again. I had payment plans from 2025, 2024 that finished. I had payment plans from 2024 and 2025 that finished around the same time. I was like, damn. I was like, oh my God. I fell asleep at the wheel. I said, oh my God, I have to get on my fucking Zoom every day at 10. And I did. And then what happened? 100 sales in my motherfucking business is what happened. Amazing. Amazing. Can we make it 200 before the end of July? I'm going to try. I like dozens of sales. I like playing this game. And the only reason why I'm able to play this game now, and the only reason why I'm able to reach higher and higher levels of success now, will August be an even higher month than July? Abso-fucking-lutely. Because I'm showing up for myself, because I'm committed to creating that growth and expansion, because I'm doing shit today that I wasn't doing several years before. How many times was I told you need to be cleansing yourself every single day? How many times was I told to meditate? And did I do that shit? No. And did I continue to live and struggle because I didn't do that shit? Yes. I didn't do it because I wasn't ready. So the advice fell on deaf ears. When he told me I could file my taxes for myself, I could have done it that day, but I didn't do it because I wasn't ready. So it fell on deaf ears. I didn't receive it. I didn't take action. And the thing about being the woman who teaches, the thing about being the woman who serves, the thing about being the coach, is that you have to develop the skill of knowing when you're speaking to somebody who cannot hear you. And if you're speaking to somebody who is not in a position to be able to hear you, you need to shut the fuck up. And I don't mean that to be rude. I don't mean that to be mean. I mean, you need to understand and you need to know when you're wasting your time, when you're wasting your energy, when you're wasting your efforts. Because when you give and give and give and give to somebody who is not ready for change, they will become a bottomless pit of need. You know that person in your life. Maybe you are one of those people in your life. They have one problem. Oh my God, I can't believe this terrible thing happened to me. You help them get out of that one problem. Oh my God, another problem. I can't believe this is happening to me. What am I going to do? You help them get out of that problem. Oh my God, another problem is happening to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know why people keep hurting me this way. I don't know why people keep victimizing me. I don't know why. You don't know why. But you're not on your Zoom every day at 10? You don't know why, but you're not committed to finding answers? You don't know why, but you're not committed to seeing yourself living on the other side? You don't know why, but you're not fighting for a life where you're working in a happy, healthy, safe work environment? You don't know why, but you're not showing up every single day to see yourself living in the inn, having clients coming in every single day, having the amount of money that you want in the savings, having the kind of investments that you want. You don't know why, but you're not fighting for victory. You're a victim, but you're not fighting for victory. You're a victim, but you're not fighting for victory. You don't know why it keeps happening? It's because you're a victim, but you're not fighting for victory. Can I be Dr. Umar for 1 second? But seriously. At some point, you need to realize you are the reason why you are in the same shitty situations over and over and over and over and over again. The common denominator is you. But nephews, how can you say that? When that man is clearly stalking that woman and is abusive and all of these other terrible, horrible things. What about him? Nothing for him? You have nothing to say to him? Well, darling, if this was Naked and Noisy, manifestation tools for the professional man, the podcast, if that's what this was, then I would be talking to that man. And I would be talking to men in that way of life. Actually, I wouldn't. He would never be my ideal audience, but you know what I'm saying. This platform is not for professional men. And even though it's incredibly valuable and anybody can listen and grow and expand from it, and they should, that's not my target audience. So that's not who I'm going to focus on. Duh. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about your personal power. Victims don't have power. I'm not saying that people who have been victimized don't have power. I'm saying victims don't have power. People who identify as victims don't have power. When it's everybody but you, you don't have power. When I was doing absolutely nothing, but then you came over here and you started bothering me and you started picking on me. When that's your life story, you don't have power. Victims don't have power. Are you a victim or are you a victor? Why does my voice keep cracking? Fuck. I'm trying to give the most powerful sermon of all time in my goddamn voice. Keeps cracking in this bitch. Shit. Okay, focus. I've been talking a lot more, so my voice is kind of like adjusting. Anyway, Do you know what I mean? Like my voice is like going out because I'm talking so much, but then I just like keep talking. I don't know. The girlies that are quiet will get it. But anyway, um, I am quiet off the internet. Okay. So, you need to be in the energy of victory. You need to be in the energy of I'm a winner. When I look at that sweet, beautiful young woman who's like, the judge didn't even look at the evidence, the judge didn't even care, this is so unfair. She's telling herself the story that she lives in a world that doesn't show up for her. She's telling herself the story that she lives in a world that doesn't care for her. She's telling herself that she lives in a world where she's unsafe and there's nothing she can do about it. Oof. That's a terrible experience to live. I know it personally. I get it. I understand it. I empathize with it. And at the same exact time, I love you and I like you too much to allow you to dwell in that story. Period. All women, all people, across the board. I want you to understand that there will always be an opportunity for you to be a victim. There will always be an opportunity for you to be a victim. What do you do in those moments? There are skills that you need to develop in order to be a fully functioning adult. There are skills that you need to develop in order to be a fully empowered adult. Asserting your boundaries, that's a skill. Telling people to fuck off and meaning it, that's a skill. Telling people to fuck off and meaning it and having the power to make them fuck off, that's a skill. These are skills that must be developed. Some of us are more naturally inclined towards certain skills than others. Speaking of people who are really good with this skill, I saw a video on TikTok today, and it was a video before the one that I've talked about earlier. In this video, it's someone, I believe a woman, but also they could be non-binary, but also they could be a man. I don't know. I really don't know. But there were women commenting on the video, so I think it was a woman. I don't know. They didn't show their face or anything like that. I have no idea. But I'm going to say it was a woman. It was a person. So this woman is walking down the street and the video starts. She's recording some guy. She's like, you walk around here? You live around here? You from around here? What's going on? The guy's, I think it sounds like he's trying to say like, oh yeah, like I'm just walking down the street, whatever. She's like, no, because I saw you. You were walking in the other direction. You saw me. Then you started walking towards me. Why did you turn the corner? And then you see she's filming with her left hand. In her right hand, she has fucking mace. She starts spraying her mace, even though he's like hundreds of feet away from her. She's walking towards him. She's spraying her mace like she's firing warning fucking shots. Don't fucking play with me because I'm actually crazy. You need to leave me the fuck alone. Stop following me. She's walking towards him. This guy has now started backing up, going back to the direction that he came from. She's still walking towards him, talking her shit. Don't fucking play with me. You don't fucking follow me. You don't fucking follow me home. She gets up to him, and this is where it gets a little funny. And she's telling him, run away. She's like, run, bitch. And this man starts running away in the opposite direction. She's like, you need to run faster than you've ever ran before. And the text of the video was like, I'll never play when it comes to me. That's a woman who knows how to exercise her own boundaries. That's a woman who knows how to stand up for herself. That's a woman who knows how to create an environment of safety and security and protection for herself. These are skills you have to develop. As a mindset person, as a woman working on and healing her relationship with men, am I going to make the dominant story in my mind be that men are safe and secure and they love me and they help me and they serve me and they're amazing and they protect me? Is that my dominant experience in life? Yes. Is that the dominant story that I choose to tell myself? Yes. Am I ignorant to the fact that men have historically been absolutely horrendous to women, to people, to Black women? Am I ignorant to that fact? Absolutely not. Is that a story that I play on a loop in my mind all day, every motherfucking day? No, it is not. Because is it helpful to me to walk around the world telling the story that I'm unsafe? No, I'm activating my own nervous system. And what happens when my nervous system is activated? My prefrontal cortex goes offline. And if my prefrontal cortex goes offline, then I don't have access to my creativity and my creative solutions. Now I'm operating out of fight, flight, freeze, fawn. I'm no longer showing up as a fully functioning adult. I'm no longer living my day-to-day life with a fully functioning brain. Who thrives when that's the case? Not the community of women that I've been anointed and called by God to serve and teach and uplift and speak life into. They certainly are not served when that's the case. Think about my content. For those of you that have been around for a very long time, I've always been amazing at what I do. I've always been the shit. Is my content today better than the content I was making in 2019, 2020, 21, 22? Yeah, of course. Because I feel safer in my body than I've ever felt before. Because I feel more capable and competent and empowered than I have ever been before. That's important and that's valuable. And there's this stupid conversation online. I'd rather be with a bear in the wilderness than with a man. I get it and I understand it. I understand that it's not literal, but also every single time you walk out of your house, you come in contact with men, correct? So if you're sitting and you're focusing and you're telling the stories that men are so unsafe and men are so terrible and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you're a helpless woman and there's nothing that you can do because you can't fight a man, how is that helping you? How is that supporting you? Even when it comes down to those personal like protection classes, like those self-defense classes, they're like, in the self-defense class, they teach women that you should not fight a man because men are significantly stronger physically than women. Am I ignorant to that? Like as a fact, like scientific fact, like technically, like yes, absolutely. A woman was telling a story about how they were teaching her that in her self-defense class, and they had a man come in to like do like a demonstration, like a check, like, okay, you're gonna like try to have your moves. And they were like, even though that man was not using his full force, oh my God, that was so scary because he was so strong. And I was watching that video and I was like, well, I understand, and respectfully and maybe even spiritually and a little bit scientifically, I also disagree. Because I'm a Mars ruled woman with Mars in the first house, and not just any Mars in the first house, but Mars and Scorpio in the first house. So if anybody has the power to defend themselves, it's me. This is a David and Goliath situation every single time. And I do speak from experience, which we really do not have to talk about today. There's a difference between when you're role playing or when you're roughhousing with a guy as a joke versus when your life is in danger. There is a difference. When adrenaline is pumping through your system, there is a difference when you have to fight for your life. I am not ever walking around telling the story that if something happens and I'm in danger, I shouldn't even probably really bother fighting back. I should do everything I can to just get away. No, wrong. I'm actually the wrong one. If you think I look bad, you should see the other guy in the morgue. I never gave a fuck. Personally. I literally have chills on my body right now. The stories that we tell ourselves matter. And the reason that I believe in my ability to protect myself and to take care of myself is because multiple times throughout my life, I have had to use that ability to protect myself and to take care of myself. As a consequence, I have confidence. Sometimes shitty, terrible, horrible shit happens, and you know that I wish that it didn't. At the end of the day, I'm a Pisces. At the end of the day, my sign represents unconditional love and Christ consciousness. At the end of the day, I wish we could all kumbaya, my love. I wish that we all got along. I wish that there was world peace. And so much of the work that I do contributes to my own personal dream and fantasy of a utopia where everyone is respected. And now it's getting very MLK up in here. So let's just stop that there. But I really do. I wish that everything was roses and sunshine and gumdrops, but it's not. And you don't have to walk around the world being terrified and on edge, because that's not exactly what's going to save you. It's just going to lower the quality of your life. But the point that I'm making is that these are skills you have to develop as a woman. And although I hope that you listening to this podcast episode is going to plant some beautiful seeds and inspire some shit within you, give you some epiphanies, help you receive some downloads from your ancestors, maybe you have chills in your body, like, God, do I hope that that's the case. But you just listening to me is not going to help you embody this shit. I'm not saying, oh, you have to be attacked and you have to experience blah, 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 blah. I'm saying there's shit that you're going to go through. There's probably shit that you're going through. There's probably shit that you've been through that is really an opportunity for you to develop these incredibly important life skills. And until you develop these incredibly important life skills, until you learn these lessons, it's going to be one thing after another. So there's something really important that happens when you ask for help. And we're talking about something energetically. Because just saying I want help is not being ready for help. I've already talked about this. There's multiple times and multiple experiences where people have told me, I really want help. I really want blah, 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 but they don't actually want the fucking help. I don't have time to give examples. I could go on and on. Can't understand how I last so long. Anyway, focus. We have skills to develop as human beings and as women. You know that I bring my future children into everything that I do. And so I think about those experiences, like a video that I saw online. And it was like of a mom at a park, and she has like her 2 kids with her. And there's like a guy that's like being creepy at the park and like harassing her. And so she gets out her phone and she films. And I'm watching this video and I'm like, everybody in this situation is out of their fucking mind. If I am with my children who are my responsibility to protect, you're gonna wish there was a video camera on you right now, brother. You're gonna wish. The last thing I'm doing is pulling out my phone to record. I'm tired of living in a surveillance state. It seems like everything is about how can I get the most likes on this video? How can I get people to talk about this? How can I get comments? How can I get attention? Which there's nothing wrong with wanting attention. But you need something more than having thousands of people commenting, oh my God, that's so fucked up, I'm sorry. You need more than that to live through life. You need more than that to create happiness. It's this fucking bitch ass guy at your college campus today. It's possibly your boss tomorrow. It's possibly your daughter's boyfriend or husband. I'm going to develop the skill now, and I'm going to learn the lesson now because I know that these skills are transferable. They're going to help me as I move throughout the rest of my life, and they're going to help me build my confidence. So when you decide that you are ready for help, and when you're like really ready for help, not ready to complain, not when you're ready to rant about it and tell the same story over and over and over and over and over again to 6 different people so that they can tell you, oh yeah, that sucks. And there's no fucking solution at the end of it. No, when you're really ready for help, you have to get tired. You have to get sick and tired of your own bullshit. You have to get sick and tired of the bullshit of the world. Sometimes that only happens when you reach rock bottom. Sometimes you need a little bit more suffering before you're willing to get the fuck up and fight for your happiness like you're fighting for your goddamn life. And that's just the truth. And I know it because I live it. I suffered and was anxious and all of that stuff for 5 years before I filed my taxes. I get it. I understand it. It feels like shit. I don't wish it for you. I'm not saying that I hope it happens. I'm not saying that it's something that I want you to expect. I'm saying it's real shit that happens and we have to talk about it. Sometimes when you hit that rock bottom, sometimes when you're in the pits of hell, in that moment is when you are ready to release and let go of the shit that no longer serves you. And then when you let out that cry for help, when you're really, really, really ready, and you say, God, angels, universe, ancestors, whatever is good and out there and willing to help me, please, 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 get me the fuck out of here. When you get to that moment, that's when you're willing to see things differently. And it doesn't have to be pits of hell thing. But there is that pivotal moment when you're sick of your own bullshit. And you go, okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready to receive now. I'm ready to try something differently now. At that moment, your desire becomes bigger than your fear. I want to have stability in my business and peace in my life. I want to be a capable, competent business owner. I want to have wealth more than I am terrified of filing my taxes wrong. I want this shit handled more than I am terrified of making a mistake. My desire is bigger than my fear, so I'm going to be courageous. Because in order to reach your goals, there's certain shit that you have to let go of. Yes, sometimes it's people, sometimes everybody can't come with you, but sometimes it's your people-pleasing tendencies. Sometimes it's your over-giving tendencies. I'm going to tell you a story. It has to be censored, so I'm going to do the best I can. A couple of years ago, I became friends with a woman. I received messages about that woman in my intuition telling me, do not trust her. I ignored my intuition because she presents herself as so nice and so loving and so kind and dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. So I continued to have that relationship with her. Fast forward a couple years. The relationship ends. Were there moments of her supporting me? Yes. I stayed over her house once. She gave me money to do a natal chart reading for her, and I think it's because she just wanted to give me money because I was on the road and I was struggling. Like, yes, those are things that helped me. But when I got readings from her, was I left feeling discouraged, like I could never and should never move to New York City, and instead I should move to Tennessee? Even though I love Tennessee, it's one of my favorite states. I will have a farm in Tennessee one day as like an additional property, but then there will have to be like farm hands who stay there 24/7 to take care of the animals. This is a side note, 2.5. Okay, we might have like an hour, 30 minutes. We're going to wrap this up soon for the podcast episode. But if you want to be my stagehand, you have to have Virgo energy, or you must be a sixth houser. I will be looking at your natal charts. The only people that can take care of my farm animals, because I love them dearly, but I don't want to live on a farm all day 24/7. It can only be a Virgo. Nobody's going to take care of an animal the way that a Virgo or a sixth houser would. And that's just the thoughts that play in my mind as I think about my desires for wealth. Okay, anyway, back to the story. I had a connection with a woman that I can think of more negative experiences with her than I can think of positive ones. And it wasn't that she was so mean and she was a bully and all of this stuff. It's just that I didn't like the way that I felt when I was with her. I didn't like hanging out with her. I didn't like talking with her. I didn't like the advice that she gave me. It didn't help me. Even though she was one of the people who told me to meditate, I did need to meditate. But when I was in her programs and different things like that, I was not flourishing and thriving the way that my clients flourish and thrive in my programs. Hello. So when a similar situation comes up a couple years later, recently, and I have another experience where my intuition is saying, I don't know. I'm seeing red flags. Is anybody seeing red flags? I have one conversation. I'm showing up. I'm being kind. I'm being nice. I'm trying to be generous and considerate and compassionate. And I get one response. Well, technically two. And of those two responses, one of them is flat out fucking rude. Pissed me off. Anyway, I said, oh, baby, I've seen enough. We don't have to go any farther. I've seen this movie before. I don't like the ending. I learned in that old friendship to trust myself and my intuition even when I don't have proof. I observed myself in this connection almost going down that path of forcing myself to connect with someone that doesn't necessarily make me feel loved and welcomed and wanted and safe and cared for. And I said, oh no, this isn't what I want. And it's not about people being evil, and it's not about people being bad, and it's not... Everything is not always black and white, bad, good. Sometimes shit is just incompatible. Sometimes shit is just not how I want to feel. I'm exclusively available for friendships with sweetie pies. I don't give a fuck. I have the kind of friendships where when we talk on the phone, we get off of the phone and then we text each other. Thank you so much for spending that time with me. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to chat with me. I love our conversations. Love you so much. Sleep tight, That's the kind of shit I'm available for. There's certain shit that I don't like. There's certain ways that I don't like to be treated. I learned that. And I show up differently because of it. And I'm able to protect my peace. I'm able to protect myself emotionally. I know how to create an environment of safety and security for myself. Baby. Not just with one woman, with groups of women. Let's not talk about it. We cannot get into the specifics. I just realized I'm talking about more than one person. Damn. I'm really good at saying, no, thank you. You get nothing more from me. Actually. Because I know myself. And I'm a lover. And once I let people into my heart and into my inner circle, it's really hard for me to let it go. I've been joking with myself. We gotta tighten security around this motherfucker. And tighten security I do. Amen? So what's my point? There's shit that you have to learn. There's levels of things you have to learn. Learning how to trust yourself, learning how to trust your intuition, learning how to stand up for yourself, learning how to tell somebody to fuck off, learning how to step into your power, be the leader of your mind, and commit to seeing yourself win and commit to seeing yourself succeed. Those are all things that you need to learn to do. These are skills that you need to develop to be the leader of your mind, to be the creator of your reality, to create an emotionally fulfilled and purpose-driven life. Getting your desire, manifesting your dream reality, manifesting the wealth and the lifestyle and the success of your dreams is not just about, I'm going to get a check in the mail. I'm going to go get a scratcher and I'm going to win the lottery. Not saying that it can't be that. Not saying that that won't happen. But I'm saying there's a whole bunch of other things that go into that. I had to learn how to run a business. I had to learn marketing. I had to learn the kind of marketing that I like, the kind of marketing that I don't like. I had to learn how to put myself out there. I had to learn how to deal with trolls. I had to learn how to tell people no. I had to learn how to get over my own fears and my own insecurities surrounding my audience. Having wealth, not just making money, but keeping money, growing money, expanding money for myself and for future generations. Back in 2019, I made money and I spent, and 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 I didn't feel safe saving, and I didn't expect for savings to stay in my savings, and I didn't expect for there to be more than enough money for the bills so that I could save. I was eating out every day. Damn. $16 lunch every day, queen. $16 lunch today again, queen? And you're leaving a tip? Oh my God. I'm not saying a lunch every day is bad. I'm joking. But now, bitch, I buy groceries and I eat leftovers. And I might do something different to put a different spin on the leftovers, or I eat food that I like and enjoy. I went through some shit financially. I went through not enough financially, but it also helped me tap into and develop my skill of cooking, which I want to do. So I'm not spending dozens every single day on breakfast, lunch, and dinner going out and eating fast food. Was I raised to do that? Yes, I was. Did I learn that that was not going to be supportive of my financial desires and dreams and goals? Yes, I did. Did I experience not having enough money to do that in order to help me develop that skill and develop that understanding? Again, yes, I did. Is the skill of me sitting and having intimacy with my money and being mindful about where I'm spending and where and what and where things are going, is that an important life skill that's going to help me no matter how much money I have? Yes. Because of the work that I've done with my relationship with money, I went to go get my nails done. Fabulous, wonderful job. I'm getting my nails done. I go to the register. First, I ask the price, okay? I saw the website. I saw the price breakdown. I said, my total's going to be about, damn. So when I told her the design that I wanted, said, what's the price? She called, I believe, the owner to get the exact price breakdown. She said, okay, I'm going to have her text it so that you can see. She told me what the price was going to be at the beginning of the service so that if I don't like the price, we will make some changes. I said, okay, that price is fine. She does my nails. We have a good job. We have a great time. Different woman ends up finishing my nails. No big deal. I go to the register. It's time to pay. She tells me the total is $2 more than what I was told on the text message. I said, hold on. Can you explain why it's this amount instead of this amount? Not because I'm not going to pay, not because I can't pay, but because I have intimacy with my money. I need a price breakdown. I need to understand what's going on. At the beginning of the service, when she said it's going to be a $2 charge for DDDD, I was like, well, wait a second. What's the $2 charge? She was like, well, we're going to use the pink instead of the clear, so it's going to be $2. I said, okay. Do I think it's a little... No comment. Whatever. It's a $2 charge. Okay. So when we get to the end of the service, I'm going to ask questions about my total. Not because I can't, not because I think it's unfair, not because I think it's unreasonable, but because I want to understand where my money is going and why. I have a relationship with money. I care about my money, and money cares about me. Even though I like to go on a shopping spree every once in a while, deserved. I know what my responsibilities are. I know where money needs to go. I have an understanding of my charges and why, and I'm okay with them. This is confidence. And I believe it's financial literacy. So when I ask her about the extra $2 that's added on to the end, I say, okay, can you tell me why it's this and not this? She says, oh, it's because you're using a credit card. But if you want to use Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, whatever, you don't have to pay the $2 charge. I said, oh, baby, let me pull up my bank account right now because we can do Zelle. Hello. Not only did I get 10% off of my service because it was my first time going to that salon, but I also didn't pay an extra $2 fee. Why? Because over the years, I have learned to develop intimacy with my money. Because I'm comfortable with money. because I'm comfortable talking about money. Do you know how many times? Only about 3 or 4 or 5 in the past year, but it's a crazy fucking amount. Do you know how many times people have bought a service from me and accidentally booked twice or bought twice and didn't even email me, didn't even reach out to me about it? I'm the person sending the email. I'm the person, well, at first it was me. Let me send an email. Now I see that second charge, refund immediately. And then you get an email from me saying, hey, we refunded you because your order went through twice, blah, 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 blah. Intimacy with money. Do you know how many women, you don't have an awareness of what's going on in your account? $125 went out of your account 2 times 2 months ago. You didn't see it? You didn't check? You didn't know? Oh my God. What? Do you know how many women in the world are not willing to have a conversation about money? Are not willing to have a conversation about what they need? Are not willing to have a conversation about what they require? Are not willing to ask questions because it's awkward? Oh, I don't want to ask them about this because what if they think I don't have money? Oh, I don't want to ask them about this because what if they think I'm cheap? Oh, I don't want to ask them about this because what if it's awkward? I don't give a fuck about it being awkward. Let me know what you're charging me and why. And then I'm going to make an informed decision about what I'm going to do next, period. That's money confidence. Having money confidence and having intimacy with my money is not just something that's going to help me at the nail salon. It's not just something that's going to help me as a business owner and as a CEO. It's something that's going to help me when I'm planning my incredibly expensive wedding in Italy. These are important skills to have. I almost spent an unnecessary $2 today. It could be an unnecessary $30,000 tomorrow. But I asked questions. The woman who checked me out at the nail salon, nothing wrong with her. She did a fabulous job. She didn't say there's a $2 charge. She just said, okay, this is your total. When I went to the register, she asked me if I was paying with credit card. I said yes. Or she asked me how I was paying. I said I'm paying with credit card. She didn't say, oh, did you know that if you pay Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, whatever, Zelle, you don't have to do the $2 charge, but there is a $2 charge. She didn't say that. I'm not saying she had to. I'm not saying she's not a good person. It's not a critique on her. But, applause and pat on the back to me. Because I ask questions. Because I show up for myself. Because I'm willing to be in an uncomfortable position. And I do need you to explain this breakdown to me. Because I want to make sure that the people that I'm in business with have integrity, period. And 1 + 1 needs to be 2. Shit needs to add up for me, 100%. These are the skills that you need to have to be a fully functioning adult. How many grown women are in the nail salon unhappy with their nails and don't speak up? Now you kind of looking like Boo Boo the Fool in the hands for the next 2 weeks. No, I'm going to say something. I want this one to be matte and I want this one to be glossy. And I think we should only do the black line on these 2. I don't want the black line on these ones. These are the skills that you need to have an emotionally fulfilled life. So when you ask for help, that help is not just coming to you in the form of a check in the mail. You don't just want $20,000 to be deposited into your bank account today and for it to be gone tomorrow. You want $20,000 in the bank account today and you want to know how to manage it. You want $20,000 in the bank account today and you want to know where you should put that shit. These are choices and decisions that only you can make for yourself, because only you know what you desire in your life. I could have been at the Cowboy Carter tour today or tomorrow. I'm looking at the Vegas hotel rates. The people running Vegas are stupid right now. I'm sorry. We don't have time for me to talk about if I ruled the world. If I ruled Las Vegas would be popping right now. Popping in ways Las Vegas has never been popping before. But let's not discuss it. We don't have time. Sorry, I hit the mic. Focus. Relax. Calmate. Okay. I'm looking at the Vegas prices. I'm looking at the prices of the tickets that I want. I'm like, damn, I could really be close to the stage. I really could be. But if I get this ticket, then I have to get this for hotel, and then I have to get a rental car. And then when you get the rental car, you have to fill it up with gas. But if I don't want to fill it up with gas, then I'm going to have to pay this fee. I'm thinking, I'm doing the math. I'm like, when is the last time I bought new clothes? When is the last time I opened up my closet and I really felt good about my capacity to creatively express myself in the way that I dress? I'm looking at my budget for the tickets. I'm looking at everything that I'm going to need. I'm like, hold on. What would I rather have? Beyonce, I love you. And I know it would be a memorable experience. And I got so much from the Renaissance tour. And I understand the value of art like anybody else, but having a conversation with myself about money and what I want my money to do and what I want to put my money in that's going to last me a long time. I'm thinking, do I want to spend money on a concert that is only going to be a one-night experience for me? And I don't have my dream seats. They would have been great seats. Oh my God, that would have been so good. But they're not my dream seats. Then the show's going to be over and I'm going to be inspired and amazing and wonderful. But I could also get this dress that's been on my Christmas list since last Christmas. I could get it today. I got the dress I wanted. I got another dress. I got these other dresses. I got a shirt. I got cheetah print jeans. Cross your fingers, hope they fit. I can buy clothes that are going to last me a significantly longer time, and it's going to contribute to me building out my dream wardrobe. I'm going to buy the clothes. And I need new makeup. I've been talking about my makeup. The last time I did my makeup, I was not happy with it. I'm like, God, my products are so fucking old. When is the last time you bought new foundation? So I went to Ulta and I got new foundation and I got new beauty blenders. Well, I like the Real Technique blenders, but whatever. I got the Real Technique beauty blenders and some mascara and blah, 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 blah. I wanted something that was going to last me a long period of time. That's how I like to spend my money. Will I get to the point where I want to spend thousands of dollars for one concert? Yes. Well, do I want to do that? Yes. But is that my number one priority right now? Unfortunately, no. And that's okay. In my opinion, I make choices and moves that are in alignment with being a grown, financially responsible adult woman. Because of the prayers that I was praying when I was going through it. I had some really great financial success when I first started my business. I was making $5,000 a month when I quit college to do this business full time and establish this business. I was making that on Etsy. I continued to make that money, but I didn't know how to do it in a sustainable way. I didn't know how to manage my anxious thoughts about whether or not I would be able to take financial responsibility for myself and my life and whether or not I could reach my goals. I didn't know how to listen to myself and my own internal compass, regardless of what other people were telling me I should do and had to do in order to succeed and win. Those are all skills that I learned from listening to the shit that other people told me to do and falling on my face. These are skills that I learned and developed because I was in the pits of hell and going, okay, help me, help me, help me. I'm willing to see things differently. I'm willing to do things differently. And when I finally got fed up enough, I was willing to bust that journal open. And I went fucking crazy. What did Alexander Hamilton say in the hit musical? I wrote my way out. Amen. I was journaling and breathworking every single motherfucking day. You could not stop me from doing that shit. Because I was tired of my own shit. I learned discipline. Because I finally got tired of the life experience I had when I didn't show up. And then for a couple of months of 2025, I was not the most disciplined girl in the world. My nervous system was activated. Everything was the worst. I wouldn't wish turning 26 and getting kicked off your parents' insurance on anybody. I was really nervous and I was really scared. Everything is okay. Everything worked out. I got exactly what I wanted. But I was still terrified. And I was not on my Zoom every single day at 10. I was not doing all of the things that I needed to do. And when I was not as disciplined as I know to be, and I let those old stories take over, my money and my income and my sales were negatively impacted. It's okay. Because I can get it back. And did. Amen? We go through shit in life. Sometimes people are fucking terrible, and it's not okay. We don't wish that we meet them, right? We script and we tap into the energy of only being surrounded by loving people so that we don't meet them, right? We learn to listen to our intuition so that we don't end up in the same rooms as them. We learn to listen to our intuition so that we don't begin relationships with them. There's a moment where you decide, I'm done living how I've been living. I'm done attracting the shitty people I've been attracting. I'm done engaging in relationships in the way I've been engaging. And I'm willing to let shit go. I'm willing to let go of the patterns that don't serve me. I'm willing to let go of the pattern of allowing my fear to hold me back. I'm willing to let go of me not showing up because I'm afraid of rejection. I'm willing to do whatever the fuck it takes to get out of here. In my experience, your guides, angels, and ancestors want you in a position where you're willing to do whatever the fuck it takes to get out of there. Because what it actually takes to create your dream life is for you to become a completely different person, for you to develop better feeling habits and skills, for you to tell better feeling stories about who you are and what you get to have. It actually takes transformation to get that level of success, to get that desired lifestyle, and be able to maintain it. I wasn't taught discipline when I was a kid. I had to learn the hard way in adulthood. So when you find yourself in that experience, you're going, hey, the same thing that happened at this job is the same thing that happened at the last job. Am I ready to listen? Am I ready to learn the lesson here? Am I ready to go deeper around this? Am I ready to understand why I'm a vibrational match to this? Because when you refuse to take accountability and everybody else is always to blame and you're always the victim, you're going to continue to attract fucked up shit. Not just because you didn't learn the lesson, but because you're telling the story. Sometimes people are really fucking terrible to me and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just life. And that's not helpful to anyone. There are people in the world that don't have integrity. I don't align with those people. I don't connect with those people. Those people don't see me. I don't see them. Because I'm not the one. I show up for myself. I protect myself. Period. Emotionally, mentally, energetically, spiritually. I make choices and decisions that secure my safety and security. I trust myself to keep myself safe so I don't have to walk around fearing that somebody else is going to be mean to me, fearing that somebody else is going to take advantage of me, fearing that somebody else might not like me, fearing blah, 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 blah. Because I got me. There's certain shit that you can control. There's certain shit that you can't control. And you can control the direction of your thoughts. You can impact how you feel. You can control the meaning that you take from certain situations. You can control the conclusions that you come to from certain situations. You can control the stories that you choose to tell about who you are, what your destiny is, and what you get to be in this life, period. I want you to see yourself as a winner. I want you to see yourself as the woman who is capable of protecting herself and taking care of herself. Do you think we would live in a world full of men who do horrendous, weird, creepy shit if we also lived in a world full of women who would go off in a way that you have never been gone off on before? I don't think we would. Or the number would be significantly lower. Maybe you need to learn the lesson from your ancestors to not put up with shit. Maybe you need to learn the lesson from women's past to stand up for yourself in the workplace. To be the woman that files the report, to be the woman that goes to HR, to be the woman that goes to the courthouse, and to be the woman who expects to win. Sometimes people use their spirituality to scapegoat. Oh, well, karma's going to get them. Karma's going to handle them. But really, you just don't want to stick up for yourself. Karma's going to get them. But really, you don't handle your own business. And it's not about what happens to them next. It's about what's going to happen to you next because of the skills you're refusing to develop or the skills you're not ready to develop, right? So I guess the next normal, natural question is, are you going to wait until you hit rock bottom to actually be ready to transform? Or are you going to make the choice to get up and go and be willing to see things differently? Announce that, declare that. I'm willing to see things differently. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to recognize any error in my ways. I'm willing to recognize the stories I'm telling that are no longer supporting me. I'm willing to recognize the ways that I'm being that are keeping me stuck and limited and unsupported. Help me, help me, help me. I'm ready to receive help. I'm ready to take action now. And you be mindful of that. When you wake up and you're going, I don't really feel like it today. I was up like 24 fucking hours yesterday because after I did my live, I ended up going to get my nails done. And then after I got my nails done, I had coffee. And then after, I have no idea how I fucking stayed up, but I stayed up and went to bed at kind of like a normal hour. And I only slept for 7 hours, which was kind of crazy. So I have no idea what the hell happened. It must have been the magic of the new moon in Leo, okay? Talk about a new attitude by Patti LaBelle. But seriously. Why did I tell you that I stayed up? Oh my God, am I so tired? Hold on. I was going to make a really good point and then we were going to end this episode. I stayed up yesterday for over 24 hours. Oh, yeah. I could have just gone to sleep because I kept putting off doing my live video. I've been going live on YouTube to do pick-a-card readings at least once a day, Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I take yeah, I take a rest. I take a break. Because, you know, it's using energy and you need to rest and you need to replenish. So I've been doing it. I told myself I was going to do it until the end of the month. But I kept putting it back. No, I'll do it later. No, I'll do it later. No, I'll do it later. Sometimes I go live at 10 o'clock at night. Sometimes I go live at 11. Because I kept putting it off all day. But before I get my ass in that bed, I'm going live. So the live that I did was like, I don't even know. It was like 6 in the morning or something. Because I hadn't gone to sleep. But I did it. Because I committed to doing it. I made a promise to myself. And that means something to me. When I'm the woman who makes promises to myself and I keep them, I build self-trust. So when I tell myself, I'm going to make you richer than rich, I'm going to get you so much success, I trust that. That's power. That's self-esteem. That's confidence. Okay? The moral of the story, you do not need to wait until you're in the pits of hell, but if what you need before you're willing to change your ways is to wind up rock bottom, then the universe will give that to you, unfortunately. And that's just life. And you look at other people and you say, but how come I'm experiencing this, this, and this, and they're having that? There's a lot of people who look really happy and they're actually fucking miserable. You're angry at a facade. You're jealous of a facade. I'm not going to talk about the shit that influencers that I know personally, well, not know intimately, but like, you know, like I know of, I've seen behind the veil, right? What's that J. Cole lyric? He says, he says something about some of these rappers not being what they seem. They're getting their plays from machines. J. Cole. It's a remix. Hold on, I'm looking it up. Is it J. Cole? How many faking they streams, getting they plays from machines? Girl, all these fucking articles about it, and nobody listened to the goddamn song? Oh, okay. The title of the song is A Lot by J. Cole and I think 21 Savage, okay? So maybe go listen to it. There's a lot of people in the world. Their life looks so amazing. They're traveling here. They're going there. They have no happiness. They're empty. I'm sorry. I want to be in Bora Bora just as much as the next bitch. But I don't want to be in Bora Bora depressed. I did that. Well, not in Bora Bora, but I was in Tennessee, which is very close. It is. Tennessee is beautiful. It's one of my favorite places in the world. I traveled the United States up and down and back and forth across the South and the Pacific Northwest. And it was beautiful. But I couldn't take in that beauty. I couldn't relish in the beauty of it because I was struggling to pay my car note. And I was terrified that if I didn't pay the bill, that my cell phone was going to get cut off. And also, I'm thousands of miles away from home and I'm traveling alone. And if my cell phone gets cut off, how am I going to get from point A to point B? And oh my God. I remember I was on live and one of my subscribers was like, "You're living the dream." And I was like, yeah. I was at the beach. I was probably in Santa Barbara. She's like, "You're living the dream." I was like, yeah. Or I was either in Santa Barbara on the beach or, God, why do I want to say that I was in Nashville, Tennessee? It was one of those. It doesn't matter. The point is, I was not living the dream. I was going to beautiful places and I enjoyed it. But every single night it was like, do or fucking die, literally. If I don't make enough money tonight, then I can't go get food to eat. If I don't make enough money tonight, then I can't get gas. If I don't make enough money tonight, then I can't afford my next hotel stay. Am I going to have to sleep in my car tonight? I never had to do that, thank God. But those are real conversations I was having with myself. And the reason that I'm not traveling now is because after my last fucking big travel moment, when I got into an accident, my car got totaled. It was an accident by myself. We don't have time to talk about it. I said I would never do that again. I'm not doing all of this traveling and feeling unsafe and insecure at the same time because you can't enjoy it. How many people are living large but are incredibly fucking unhappy? I know what it feels like to have something that looks good but not have happiness, not have safety and security, not have confidence in your ability to maintain it, confidence in your ability to go to the next level. There's nobody on planet Earth that is getting to the emotionally fulfilled life without doing the work. And if you're looking at someone and you're saying they're not doing the work and they're living the life, then it's very easy for you to tell that they're not really living the life. Smoke and mirrors. Don't waste your time getting caught up in smoke and mirrors bullshit. And instead, do what the fuck you need to do so that you're right and your family is right. Period. Okay? Okay. I love you. Click the link in the description box to check out the I Can and I Should program. Ooh, that's a good one. You also could check out the Receiver's Mindset. I Can and I Should is all about self-esteem. It's the program that I use, especially this year when I'm feeling nervous and anxious. There's a whole breakdown on the different nervous system responses when your nervous system is activated: the fight, the flight, the fall, the freeze. There's examples and my 4-step process for how I move through those different responses, right? So you have that, but you also are learning how to develop a better relationship with failure. You're learning how to develop self-confidence, to develop self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem is what you believe that you are capable of. You believe in your own ability to do, right? We need self-esteem because we need to believe in our ability to have a positive impact on our lives and on our realities. You cannot manifest if you do not believe in your own ability to change your life, okay? So that's a really good program that powerfully aligns with today's episode. If you liked today's episode, rate this shit 5 stars and definitely check out that program because that will help you go deeper. That will help you do the inner child healing work around reaching your goals and building out that confidence and also manifestation. All of my programs will help you with manifestation. And then the Receiver's Mindset I mentioned is because I mentioned the receiver's mindset because it's all about increasing your capacity for receiving. That one also talks about manifesting. You'll get my 7 steps for receiving now. And it's really about healing your relationship with receiving. Allowing yourself to receive the money you want, allowing yourself to receive the pay that you want, and challenging and releasing the stories that say you don't get to have your desire because you live in a world that mistreats women, or you live in a world that doesn't want to pay money for your kind of work or whatever, you know? So I would definitely check those out. Those all have amazing landing pages that have a very detailed breakdown of what's inside of each program and each module. So click the links in the description box to learn about those programs and my other programs and all of that good shit, okay? I love you, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.